Hey guys, so I decided to do today's Everyday Truth from a different part of the house because I want to talk about perspective, because perspective is reality. And coming from an alcoholic relationship, I probably know all too well how perspective can become another person's reality and living within that. And I do have my O series behind me because I was referred to yesterday as the naked art studio lady or something in that effect. And you know what's so weird is I've spent most of my artistic endeavors painting flowers. And you know, it wasn't until recently I started painting faces and figures. And I guess if you find me now, you think of me as a naked art studio lady. And perspective is everything. And the other beautiful thing that I came to realize is the paintings behind me are such an important part of becoming for me. It's not about the nakedness. It's about the vulnerability. It's about portraying myself as a viable woman. Or I think anybody, and maybe if this is you out there, you can resonate with this. I think anybody coming out of divorce feels naked and uncomfortable and raw and maybe even a little bit violated in some ways. And the painting of this series was about looking at that head on and not being afraid of it. But I can see, I mean, I know it was kind of like off color and, you know, it wasn't necessarily for the masses. But I can see how perspective on something like that could make it seem like I am the naked art studio lady, and not someone going through and really revealing and letting it all out on the canvas. And I want to make this everyday truth today because I feel like sometimes when we are in our art room, we're thinking, what is it that people want? What is it that we should do? All these other bits of criteria. But I think it's the ultimate act of vulnerability when you can leave whatever your fears and your anxieties or nerves or happiness or anything. It doesn't have to be sad. It could be anything. But whatever you're going through, whatever you need to channel, as an artist, you're actually given that ability to channel it. And you can channel it in any way that helps you elicit a response from yourself. But art is not art unless it elicits a response from others as well. And so when I was referred to as a naked art lady, I had probably one of the proudest moments of my life because, again, it's that idea of perspective. And I don't believe that nude artwork is for everyone. I don't believe that it should be. I don't even know if I want to be defined by nude artwork, but I am certainly not in fear of putting it out there. And I'm not ashamed of saying I went through this time of vulnerability and not feeling comfortable in my skin and not even sure if I was viable as a woman anymore. And I think that divorce has a lot to do with opening that wound that maybe we all might feel, but it opens, it exposes it. And I am so grateful because the Instagrammer that did it is someone I follow. I think you should go follow her. She's amazing. Her name is Natalie, and she has vintage Porch is her tagline on Instagram. And I'm not telling you to go there to like chastise her at all because I think it's about perspective. And she was like, she invited me to her art studio. She's a fan of mine, invited me to her art studio, and she invited me and my kids, and I've got an 11 and a 16-year-old. Why would we go to that naked art studio lady's house? But that's the thing, right? You never know what you're perceived as, but you also should not be afraid to be perceived. And I think that is today's lesson. The everyday truth is to express yourself in your art, whether it's dark, whether it's pretty, whether it's flowers and vases, or naked and beautiful, and women or men or top or bottom or upside down or otherwise. That is the beauty as artists, that we put ourselves out there, we make ourselves vulnerable for the perception of others. And the response that we get is the biggest gift we can be given, good, bad, or otherwise. It's the reason I turn the camera on and record myself creating Inspiration Any Day or Inspiration Wednesdays, because that's the vulnerability, that raw nakedness that we're able to expose to others. So today's everyday truth is just be able to be open and share the gifts that you're given as an artist, because perspective is a beautiful thing if we allow ourselves to be exposed. So everyday truth, different perspective in the house, and go check out Natalie from Vintage Porch on Instagram. She's amazing. Bye, guys.